Parlo in italiano.
Yes.
Ok. Allora, sono Marco Espa, sono il presidente.
Hello, I'm the president of the Association for Children with Disabilities in Italy. I'm a parent, and so I have been witness to this situation 24 hours a day for 27 years. So I wanted to comment on this very interesting panel discussion and on what we heard this morning. In particular, I'm thinking about your moderator. So I'm just going to tell you an anecdote, some experience about how public administration can carry out personalized projects, co-designed and personalized dependent living projects. So I won't go on too long, but for example, the region of Sardinia, the public administration have used its own resources to get 2 billion euros. Now, that's only 600,000 inhabitants, but they've managed to mobilize a whole load of euros to have mobile resources to avoid institutionalization. I don't know if you're aware of this experience in Sardinia. It's a very structured system. All the participants. It's not about associations and volunteers. You're talking about institutions and their direct relation with citizens. This is in Italy. In Italy, we had a big revolution because we wanted to introduce this project for this type of project for all regions. So the problem is Sardinia. I don't know if that's because it's where it is, or because disabled people are more able to have access to this in Sardinia. But we were able to have this kind of project, but at national level, it's not possible. It's not something that can be done straight away, even if there's a reform in 2 years. So I was wondering, studies have shown that favouring independent life and independent projects can be an economic driver, because from a fiscal point of view, these people re-enter the economy. There's people. It increases jobs in the area because people are at home, not in institutions. Now, Alexandra Lopez said, talking about changing the status quo, and posed that as a question. We've seen the very painful processes linked to COVID and the war in Ukraine and supporting Ukraine. And those two factors mobilized huge resources in member states and at national level. Our Centre of Studies is carrying out some research about independent living. And this is something which needs to become a European emergency, a matter of urgency, before it's too late. All people living with disabilities need the right to choose 100%. Not just because of good practices, that's something that we can discuss, but every single person in Europe should be able to choose. So member states in Europe need the capacity, and it has to be before it's too late. I don't know about the aging population, but the European populations are becoming more fragile. So if we wait 10 or 30 years, it could be too late. There's a risk. This is a subject which needs to be on von der Leyen's agenda, on the European agenda. I'm not talking about tomorrow, but it's urgent. So not just good practices, but extraordinary mobilizing of funds. Make this urgent and on the agenda. So that was a question. And I have a question for you. In your experience, you as panelists, so if we had an extraordinary plan, or whatever we want to call it, for people living with disabilities to guarantee they have the right to independent living, even in the most severe circumstances, is that possible? We've done some calculations in Italy with 60 million inhabitants, we'd need 6 billion euros in the first year to start up those projects one by one for independent living. And at European level, we'd be talking about maybe 45 billion. Now, that doesn't seem like an impossible figure to me at European level, but it's something that needs to come into the culture of our national administrations and of the European institutions. So perhaps could you give me your opinion on that? Thank you.
That's a big question, the question of resource, money. So, but it's an important one. So I suggest I will take just this question, ask the panelists to reply, then we break for the coffee break, and I see many other hands are raised. We will take them after the coffee break. We will have another series of questions and answers, but let's first speak about money. Who wants to take the floor?
Okay, so thank you for sharing. Just a couple of